Okay, so the first set of problems is that first theorem we saw. Just so we have a reference, I'm going to draw this picture off to the side so that way we know exactly what parts we're multiplying by. So here I have a circle and I have two chords that are intersecting in that circle. And then it's going to be this times this equals this times this. So let's say that this is 6 and this is 3, and then this is 2 and 9. So we can do 2 times 9 equals 6 times 3. And again, the numbers help us like figure out what's what. Okay, so here we're going to do 1 and 2. We're not going to do 3 and 4, so if you need that space, you're welcome to use that space there. Okay, so for number 1, it's going to be this times this, so 10 times 6 equals 12 times x. And then we can solve for x. So 10 times 6 would be 60, 12 times x is 12x. Divide both sides by 12, yeah, x equals 5. Okay, then number 2, same idea. This times this, so it'll be 10 times 18 equals this segment times this segment. Best way to like write this down or set this up would be like this: 9 times x minus 3. Then 10 times 18 is 180. Then to multiply this, we distribute the 9 to both of those terms. We get 9x minus 27. Add 27 to both sides. 207 equals 9x. Divide this by 9 and this by 9. We get x equals 23. See that? Okay, so then we're going to move to the next one that we learned, and off to the side I'll just show an example here. So write this down so you have a model for yourself. A circle like this, and then we have two lines that look like this. And so for this one, we're going to take this length right here and multiply by the length of the whole segment. So if this is 2 and this is 9, we do 2 times 9 equals this length times the length of the whole thing. So if this is 3 and the whole length is 6, we do 3 times 6. So 2 times 9 would be 18, 3 times 6 is 18. So it's this exterior segment times the length of the whole thing. I don't even think you realize you're doing that, but okay. Number 5. So number 5, we're going to do this. So it's going to be this length times the length of the whole thing here. 6 plus 10 is 16. So it's going to be 6 times 16 equals. Then it's going to be this times the length of the whole thing. So we have 8 times 8 plus x, like the whole thing. 8 plus x. That's what that's supposed to say. Sorry. So we have 8 times 8 plus x. Okay, so 6 times 16 is 96. And then you distribute this, we get 64 plus 8x. Subtract 64 from both sides, and that comes out to 32 equals 8x. Divide by 8 on both sides, and x equals 4. We're not going to do number 7. And then over on this side, we're going to do 8 first and then 6. So 8 is an easier problem, and then 6 takes it up a little bit. So number 8, same thing that we were just doing. It's going to be this exterior segment times the length of the whole thing, which they tell us is 45, which is nice. So it'll be just like x times 45 equals 27 times the whole thing, which they tell us is 50. So 27 times 50, like this. So we get 45x equals 27 times 50, which is 1350. Then divide by 45 on both sides, and we get x equals 30. I'm going to draw a little line right here so it doesn't... So this problem right here, like box, is like a challenge problem. And some of you are ready for the challenge. Actually, all of you are ready for the challenge. So for this problem, starts out the same way we saw. So it's this exterior segment times the length of the whole thing, which 5 plus 7 is 12. So we're going to have 5 times 12 equals, over here, the exterior segment times the length of the whole thing, which would be x plus 4. So we have x times x plus 4. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. 5 times 12 would be 60. Distribute the x here. We get x squared plus 4x. Because we have this x and the x squared, we can't solve it the way we have been. We have to actually like factor it out. So what I mean by that is we're going to make this whole thing equal to 0. So we're going to subtract 60 from both sides. We get x squared plus 4x minus 60 equals 0, like that. You may recognize this from algebra. Now what we have to do is break this into factors like this, that look like this. So we'll put an x here and an x here, and then we need two numbers that multiply to negative 60 add to 4. So you'll think about what that is. Anybody? 12 and 5 wouldn't work. 6 and 10. 6 times 10 would equal 60, and you could also make that equal 4. So like positive 10, negative 6, those two numbers multiplied would get to negative 60, and they would add to positive 4. So we'll use that in our factors. So x plus 10, x minus 6. Like we run it out of space here. Then we're going to set each of these equal to 0 to find out what they equal. So x plus 10 equals 0. X minus 6 equals 0. Really running out of space. Okay, when you solve this, you get x equals negative 10 and x equals 6. So you have two answers. Now what you want to see if both of these are logical, because sometimes you can throw one of the answers out and just have one answer. So I look at the situation. This number represents the length of this line. The length of a line cannot be negative, like a distance has to be a positive number. So therefore we can throw out the x equals negative 10, and the only viable solution is x equals 6, and that is our answer. So x equals 6. So that would be more of like your level 4 or 5 question, and we definitely have students in here that are ready for that. Okay. Then down here, the last theorem that we saw today, we're going to be doing number 9 and 10, and then we're done. So for this theorem, making a picture off to the side, look like this. So you have our circle, then you have like a tangent here, and then a secant that goes there. Okay, so for this theorem, we're going to take this length, which is going to be, say it's 4, it would be this length squared. So 4 squared equals this length times the whole thing. So this length here, we'll call it 2. And then the whole thing we'll say is 8. So this length squared equals this exterior segment times the whole thing. Get that. And then 4 squared would be 16. 2 times 8, 16. So okay. Then over here for number 9, that's what we're going to be doing. So we have this exterior segment. Let me stick to the same colors. This squared, so it's going to be x squared equals 9 times the length of the whole thing, which 7 plus 9 is 16. So 9 times 16. So yeah, x squared equals 9 times 16 is 144. Take the square root of both sides and x equals 12. Okay, number 10, same type of problem. Okay, so we have this segment here is going to be squared, so it's 24 squared equals, and it'll be this exterior segment times the length of the whole thing, which would be 12 plus x. So 12 times 12 plus x. (24 squared is 576. And then over here we just distribute, we get 144 plus 12x. Divide by 12, divide by 12, and we get x equals 36. And that is all. So this is actually the end of the packet. So your to-do list is 1, turn in the packet if you have been absent and you have everything complete. Turn in packet. I'll quickly grade it and get it back to you because I realize you're going to want this packet for your homework assignment. Then homework 10-6 on Schoology. Do that first. And then after that, work on Alex. And let me know if you need help. Okay, ready, set, go.
Off.